So you've just got into board games and your board game shelves look like this. Well look, I'm going to help you out today because I'm going to take these shelves from this to this. And look, we're going to do this the right way because I've got some help today from Denny from over at Board Game Century, and we're going to give you the top 10 board games to start off your collection the right way. But also, did I mention the biggest bangers giveaway ever? Let's get into the video. Boom, you've played your very first modern board game and look, you're now addicted. For me, it was Ticket to Ride. This was the one that got me into the hobby. Played it over a lunch break at work and absolutely loved it. But from here is where I made a lot of mistakes. Purchased a whole bunch of games I didn't need or want, and that's what I'm going to try and do with this video, trying to stop you from making those same mistakes. So let's say you're starting this board game journey from scratch. These are the very first 10 games that you should add to your collection, and they're based on 4 factors. It's going to be availability, affordability, variability, and replayability. Look, that's a lot of abilities at the end. Anyway, let's get into it. Now, thanks to the wonders of COVID, we have this thing called technology, so let's get hold of Denny now. So, calling.
G'day, Hogs. What's up, man? Thanks for inviting
Mate, you're frozen. I can
me
see
to your
you.
YouTube channel.
I can't hear you. Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Oh.
Space.
Nope, still frozen. Back
This
frozen
place
again.
looks
Oh.
pretty darn cozy. I'm super.
Can you hear me? Hello?
What was that?
Hello?
I can't quite hear you.
Hello?
The connection's breaking up.
Technology, work! Why won't you work, Denny? Speak to me! And the way we're going to do this is we're going to have 10 separate categories, and that will tick off that pillar of variability. So your first 10 games will be all nice and different. And the first category I've got is Modern Classic. Now, Modern Classic, these are new age board games that have grown in popularity and replaced some of those games like Monopoly in your collection. For Modern Classic, I chose Wingspan. Now look, there's lots of great choices here. Games like Ticket to Ride, Carcassonne, Catan, even a game like Everdell. I reckon it's gonna be a modern classic soon enough. But for me, Wingspan is my game of choice. Now, what do we do in Wingspan? It's a tableau building game. We're gonna be getting bird cards out into 3 separate habitats. So it's gonna be woodlands, it's gonna be grasslands, and it's gonna be wetlands. Now we're gonna collect resources. How we're going to collect resources? Through these amazing dice here. So we're going to collect those, get our resources, and that will pay for the bird cards. Then we can put the bird cards into those habitats, and this is where the cool stuff begins. So what's going to happen is these bird cards, as you play over those different habitats, they're going to trigger certain bonuses going from right to left, and it's just a great mechanism. I love that. A lot of people love Wingspan. It's such a great starting choice to start off your collection. The other thing about Wingspan is it's got an amazing solo game, but to be honest, I'm not supposed to be talking about solo games because that's supposed to be Denny. So hopefully he's got his internet worked out. Hopefully he's paid his bill and he's doing solo games for me. So let's see what he's got.
Now, whilst we wait for that technology to get it back up and running, I think I might introduce my category, which is all about solo gaming, seeing I'm on my own right now. And solo games are really cool because it allows you to explore a board game at your own pace. You can explore its story, theme, and mechanics at your own leisure, and you can enjoy it the way that you want to enjoy it without the social pressure of other people. And I liken it to completing a crossword puzzle or final word puzzle on your own. It's immensely satisfying and quite therapeutic, in fact. There are a lot of multiplayer games that have a solo mode, in particular games like Cascadia, which is a tile laying game. It has like a series of solo campaigns with increasing levels of difficulty that you can just simply play through by yourself. But one of my favorite solo games to play is a deduction game called the Turing Machine. And basically in the Turing Machine, you're going to be testing different 3-digit numbers against a series of verifiers. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be using these punch cards, lining them up against an answer card, and then based on what you ask the verifier that has a corresponding answer card, it will tell you whether what you've guessed is correct or not. It could be the fact that the blue number is even and not odd, and that will narrow down your choices for future guesses and combos that you could ask the machine. It's basically a computerized board game prototype where you can kind of question things, deduce things, and make really cool deductions. I liken Turing Machine to Wordle. Basically, it's a quick puzzle that you can do every day, and it really tinkers with the brain, which I love.
And the next category is two-player games. Look, lucky you might have someone special in your life who maybe you just want to have a quiet night in and maybe play a game or two. Or you've got that drunken mate who comes knocking on your door and he's just like, hey, I want to play a game. Hey! Anyway, either way, if you can play two-player games, then my choice for you to start off your collection is Land vs. Sea. Now, look, I don't think anyone's going to have predicted this one because this is a game that I absolutely love, but no one else seems to talk about. In this game, you're going to play as land. Let me wait for it. Or sea. Look, it's pretty simple. It's a tile placement game. Place out a tile, you're going to try and connect up land, and you're trying to close off land space, or you're going to try and close off a water space there. And it's just back and forth battle. Such an amazing game, unique game. A lot of replayability because there's other little modules that you can sort of play inside of there. And, it meets our 4 pillars. It's affordable. You can get it pretty much anywhere. It's got replayability and it's variability because you're not going to have another one of these games in your collection at the start. So Land vs. Sea, that's my two-player recommendation.
If you've got some friends or family coming over this weekend and you're wondering, what sort of games could we play? Then party games might be the perfect category for you because they're really quick to teach, easy to get into, and they definitely break the ice. There are some party games that I want to introduce to you. One of my favorite early party games that I played when I started this hobby was one called Telestrations. It's a game where you basically are given a secret word, you need to draw it, and then you pass your book along to the person next to you and they have to interpret what your drawing is and make a guess. And then the person after them has to draw what that person guessed. And you can see where this is going. This is a box full of laughter. I've had so many great fun, good times with Telestrations. The other game, and this is probably my pick for this category, is Cockroach Poker. Cockroach Poker is like secret mail, and I guess what happens in this game is you're trying to pass off different insects to other players because whoever gets 4 of the same type of insect in front of them will lose the game. And what you want to do is you want to pick a card from your hand, put it face down, and basically say what you think it is. You can tell the truth or you can lie, and when you pass it to the person next to you or across the table, they've got to work out whether you were telling the truth or not, or whether they'll continue the lie. And so this kind of creates an interesting tension, a network of suspicion around the table. And this small box game has provided unlimited amounts of joy that I've had when I brought it out.
So what happens when you're first starting out a board game collection, but you don't really know what themes interest you? You're still learning, you still don't know what floats your boat. Well, I've got your back, buddy, because we've got abstracts as the next category. And you need at least one abstract to start off your collection. And the one I've picked for you is number 2 in the abstract category, BGG. It's Azul. And look, I'm going to be a bit cheeky here. I'm going to chuck in Azul, some pavilion as well. But let's talk about the original, the classic. Now, why do we care about abstracts? Look, because they don't have a theme, they don't really, do much, but what they do is they focus on the mechanics, and that's what a lot of people actually enjoy about board games, is just the mechanics and just understanding your game that's in front of you, and that's what you're doing. It's pretty much almost like you're playing your own solo game there. Look, you might be looking around at other players, but for the most part, it's just a solo abstract game. What you're doing is collecting sets of tiles there. You're going to put them out, set collection style until you get to reach a certain number there that you need to collect. And after that, you can move one of those tiles across to what we call the palace square there. And you're trying to build up the palace square there, get patterns, like score points. It's just what you're doing. Anyway, it doesn't matter. That's why it's abstract. Who cares? Who cares what you're doing? It's bloody fun. And that's the most important thing. And that's why you need Azul in your first 10 games.
I've always wanted to find out, what do people think about board games? Let's go check out the crowd and let's go ask them some questions. Excuse me girls, sorry to interrupt. I just want to find out, what is the first board game that you ever purchased?
What's a board game?
Cut the camera, come, okay.
The next category of board games I'm talking about, I had to search high and low for, both physically and metaphorically as well, and that is gateway games that I would consider a hidden gem. And the game I'm talking about today is Llama Land. Llama Land is a beautiful, intricate puzzle that's easy to get into, but really deep and layered. And it also includes these really cool llama wooden pieces. In this game, players are going to be extending their Llama Land by using pentomino-shaped pieces.
And ladies and gentlemen, you just learnt yourselves a pretty big word there. Pentomino. Now say after me, pentomino.
Players are going to be laying them so they extend their land out, but also placing them on top. And when players place these pentominoes on top of the symbols that are printed, they get that particular resource. And in this game, resources are really important because that's how you're going to race to feed these llamas. So this particular llama needs 4 cocoa beans, and if you can get those 4 cocoa beans first, you get 7 points for that llama at the end of the game. But there is a twist to this amazing llama story, and that is that every time you get a llama, that llama is going to feast on the fields on your Llama Land, filling up that spot, potentially blocking that space for future pentomino placements. And that creates an interesting geographical puzzle. Whilst you want to collect those llamas really quickly, those llamas are going to get in the way of your future plans as you ascend and build upwards and higher up. And this creates for some cool, interesting dynamics. You've even got these cool little builders and workers that kind of help you to break this resource conversion system. And this interplay of both puzzly 3D elements, all dressed in this cool llama theme, just makes this one of my favorite games of all time. Hogs, I think I may have found a hidden gem in my board game collection.
And the next category is another must-have. This is filler games. Filler games, 15 minutes or less, games that you can just play multiple times in a session, or you might just play once because you've got 10 minutes up your sleeve. Filler games are brilliant. Now the game I've picked for you is Puppy Lovin'. No, it's not Puppy Lovin', that's cheap old sleeves right there. This is Love Letter. Now, Love Letter is so brilliant. 16 cards, that's all this game is, but everyone in this family loves it. The #1 by far most played game in my household. Kids love it, the missus loves it, the dog loves it, probably the dog loves it, Betty loves it. Anyway, Love Letter, look, it's just so good. And look, every game is going to be different, every game is going to be unique, and everyone's going to keep asking to keep playing it. Anyway, look, I can't tell you why it's so good. Just go pick it up, add it to your collection, make sure it's one of the first 10 games you buy. Look, I recommend the original. The original is still the best, but if you don't like that Tempest artwork, then maybe you might want to get the Batman one. We've also got the Marvel one. Marvel one's not as good, but it's maybe you'll love it. But either way, get a version of Love Letter in your collection and you can't go wrong. Now, other filler games I thought about Sushi Go. Sushi Go is brilliant. The other one I really love is Draftosaurus. Draftosaurus is so good. But anyway, Love Letter probably should be pretty easy to get. Get your hands on that and that will start off your collection right there.
Absolutely, and I think I love this amazing telepathic connection that we have when it comes to deciding on really cool gateway board games. Is it my turn now? Oh, sorry. My next category is probably one of my favorites. It's definitely close to my heart. It's a category where the games involve very little luck. They have cool indirect player-to-player interaction, and there's a lot of different ways to win. And the category I'm presenting is the Euro games. And my recommended gateway Euro game is Juicy Fruits. Now, what's really common with a lot of Euro games is the fact that you're gathering resources, you're creating a system of actions, and then you're using those resources to follow or pursue different paths to victory. Juicy Fruits presents you with a really cool puzzle, a sliding puzzle in fact, where you're sliding your fruits across the board, you're getting really big chunky wooden fruit tokens, and then you're using them to fulfill contracts on your player board. And when you fulfill contracts on your player board, you actually remove those contracts, creating more space and more room for your plantation to grow. There are also some shops that you can purchase, and those shops give you extra scoring abilities, or they take up space on your board but give you extra victory points at the end of the game. Or you can kind of dabble in ice cream and move your ice cream cart around the board and try and buy these other cool ice cream flavors that also enhance your total victory points. Overall, I love the theme of, dabbling in fruit plantations, harvesting fruit, and then using those fruits to kind of create a cool synergy when it comes to scoring and gaining a victory. And I guess I could say that the choices in this game really allow players' strategies to come to fruition.
And the next category is co-ops. Co-ops, working together with someone else or a team to get a desired outcome together. Now, what I love is this is quite broad and there's so many different games that fit into co-ops. First one that came into my mind, my favorite co-ops are the Unlock Adventure series. These are incredible and I will rave about these till the cows come home. Like, Unlock, amazing. But unfortunately, it doesn't meet the 4 pillars, doesn't meet the pillar of replayability because you play it once and you have to get rid of it. Next, I thought about Literati, an amazing co-op word game. Word games, so good, everyone loves word games. But unfortunately, again, doesn't meet one of those pillars because right now, it's not really available. It's just on pre-order and I really wanted games that are super easy for you to get to start off your collection. So the co-op of choice I came up with was The Mind. The Mind, less a game, more of an experience, but a hell of an experience it is. The Mind. What we have here is cards numbered from 1 to 100 and that's all that's in there, and maybe a few ninja stars and this little freaky little, I don't know, rabbit or whatever it is. Anyway, The Mind. What you're trying to do is you're going to have a series of cards in your hand and you're trying to play from lowest to highest. Seems super simple, doesn't it? Like, that's easy. You can do it. The problem is no one around the table can talk. You can't give away what you've got. It's just you're working on vibes, you're giving grunts and moans and trying to, you know, it's such a great experience. And especially if you've got a group of friends, group of people who haven't really played games before, this is an experience they will have never had in their life. And that's why I think this is an amazing choice to start off your collection because let's be honest, you're going to be popular after pulling this out, you know, after a few drinks, everyone's going to love it. The Mind. There we go. That is my co-op of choice.
Oh, I didn't realize we were filming. I'm on my lunch break. Well, while we're here and while we're at it, I might as well introduce the next category, which is card games. Card games are some of my favorite types of games because there's a lot of combos and synergies to explore. So my favorite games are Dominion and Star Realms, but there's one family-friendly card game that I definitely recommend, and it is got a really delicious theme. It is called Sushi Go. Sushi Go is basically a card drafting game where you're going to be given a hand of cards each and every round. You're going to pick one of the cards from your hand, place it down in front of you, and pass the rest of the cards on to the next player. You're going to keep doing that until all players run out of cards. The really cool twist with this card game is that every card scores in a different way. So the Mackie roll, for example, you want to try and have the most Mackie symbols at the end of the round to get the points listed below. If you're doing the dumpling strategy, you want to try and get as many dumplings as possible because the more you have, the higher the victory point value. If you've got tempura, you want to try and make pairs. And if you play the Sushi Go Party version of the game, which is by acclaimed Australian board game designer, and I'm a really passionate person when it comes to supporting local designer content. Basically, the party version gives you all these other different types of sushi that you can mix and match each time you play. It might be the urumaki, so the player who gets 10 of these symbols in their tableau first will get the highest amount of victory points. Or it could be collecting different sushi shapes, and the more different sushi shapes that you get, the higher the points that you get as well. Sushi Go Party and Sushi Go are simple to teach, yet there's a lot of interesting variation that makes it quick to get into, fun to play, and really just appealing because it almost makes you feel like you're at a sushi train. Now back to lunch.
And finally, we got to the best part of the video right at the end, the giveaway. 1,000 subscribers. Board Game Bangers has grown from a measly first subscriber, I remember who you are, Mark, I remember, all the way to over 1,000 subscribers now. So look, to celebrate that, I'm giving away not 1, not 2, but 3 whole board games. So this, unfortunately, it's only going to be to Australian and New Zealand residents. Look, I'm still only a small channel, so I still can only post locally, but thanks to my wonderful, beautiful friends at Games Australia for allowing me this amazing giveaway. Look at all these games we're giving away. We're going to do this via my online duck races and the winners get to choose one of those games. Look, it's just such an easy competition. Now to enter, all you need to do is let me know what is the very first game you would add to your collection if you were starting your board game collection from scratch. And then after that, just make sure you put in the words Australia or New Zealand so I know, and that's it. You are entered in to win. And look, if you haven't checked out those duck races, they are amazing. So make sure you check them out when I draw the winners. Now that's it. Massive thank you to Danny from Board Game Century. Make sure you go check out his channel. Look, he's much funnier than me, does much better videos than me. Make sure you subscribe. Anyway, that's it. That's all I've got. What a great video. Till next time, everyone, I'm Hose. This is Board Game Bangers. This is 1,000 subscribers. And this is Letters.
Cameras on. Oh, hey Hogs! I think the technology has finally decided to work, even though we're at the end of the video. I don't know about you, but I got a little bit excited and shared my top favorite gateway games with the folks at home already. I just want to say thank you for inviting me into your board game space and to your board game channel. And I love being able to share the passion for board gaming with everybody. And maybe we could play a board game afterwards. What do you think? Thanks once again.